Hello everyone, welcome to EduTerrain and a warm good morning to you all. So yes, here I am with today's current affairs after a break of 2 days, right? So we have taken a gap of 2 days. So yes, with this let me start today's session. Let me check if my voice is audible. I can see the screen that is visible. Yes, it is all set. Just give me a second so that I can on this YouTube on my phone. Yes. So let's start today's session. So the first news article or the first question that is from the very much focused topic, that is the climate change. So here one of these following agencies, or you can say institutions, or the ministry, they have launched a climate strategy 2030 majorly to focus more on the green financing in India. Now what is this green financing? Green financing focuses mostly on those projects, okay, which are focused upon, related to the reducing the green release of greenhouse gases or combating the climate change in simpler terms. So whatever the projects that are there, for that whatever the finance that is required, that all comes under green financing. And one of these organizations, they have come up with focusing on this. Yes, now you have to tell me which is that. Yes, which is that organization or yes, now I have started this. Yes, just give me a second. Now it is the NABARD, those who are preparing for either of the examinations, RBI grade B or the NABARD as well, for both it's very important this particular topic or the question. That's why it comes under both ESI current affairs as well as ARD current affairs, because climate change is a part of, or environmental this topic is a part of both ESI and ARD. It is a NABARD that has come up with this initiative. As you can see here, NABARD has unveiled the climate strategy 2030 on the Earth Day, which fell on April 22nd, 2024. And the main aim of this particular strategy, climate strategy 2030, is to address the India's increasing demand for green financing. See, when we talk about climate change, it can be combated in two ways. One, either mitigated, okay, mitigations, or completely we have to adapt to it, adaptation. So there are two things, mitigation and adaptation. For both the cases, the infrastructure development and the kind of living that we are currently living, that all has to be changed according to the climate change requirement. So for which financing is also required. So yes, green financing, the demand for green financing is increasing, and this particular strategy will focus on mobilizing the resources for climate change mitigation, adaptation and resilience projects across the country. And current status, if we look at as of 2019-20, India received approximately $49 billion in green financing. But how much does it require? It requires $170 billion annually to achieve a cumulative total of over $2.5 trillion by 2030 for green financing initiatives, so that whatever the climate changes that are in pipeline or that have already happened, we can be able to protect ourselves from those changes. Okay, for that this much amount is required. So there are four major pillars of the climate strategy 2030. One, accelerating the green lending across the sectors, playing a broader market making role, because not only providing finance, the recognition where this finance is required, that also is very important, that is required. Internal green transformation of NABARD as well. See, once we promulgate whatever the principles related to this, especially here in this case climate change, obviously the organization itself has to adapt to that. So for which that also the green transformation in NABARD is also required. For example, for whatever the power requirements are, that they can get from some renewable energy sources. Likewise, they can slowly transform themselves. Strategic resource mobilization, how that can be done from the various avenues. And these are the four major pillars of this climate strategy 2030 that has been unveiled by NABARD. Now, India's environmental efforts. India ranks as the world's third largest emitter of the greenhouse gases, followed by China and United States. ये कई सालों से ये almost stable ही है. Renewable energy target capacity of 175 gigawatts by 2022 and 450 gigawatts by 2030. This is what our target is. Nationally determined contributions under the Paris Agreement under the UNFCCC, United Nations framework to combat climate change. Under that, under Paris Agreement, one of the COPs, countries were supposed to provide the nationally determined contributions. That is how each nation will be able to contribute to combat this climate change. As part of which, India has also it also has proposed few contributions, and very recently in 2022 it has even updated them according to the latest commitments it has proposed as part of the COP26 at Glasgow. Okay, so that includes reducing emissions intensity of GDP by 33 to 35% by 2030 from the 2005 level. 2005 level से वहाँ, and by 2070 we are saying will be carbon neutral. कई सारे ऐसे हैं where we have ourselves come up, and mission life एक ऐसा project हमने launch किया है. These are various efforts, environmental efforts that India has come up with. Okay, moving on to our next question. What was unveiled at the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research Headquarters in New Delhi very recently? Very recently, owing to the this Earth Day celebrations that was celebrated on April 22nd, 2024, CSIR has come up with one of the its initiatives. Now, it has unveiled an initiative on the same day at its headquarters. Now, you have to tell me what is that initiative. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि they can ask you on these lines as well. So here they were focusing on, or they have unveiled India's largest clock. Okay, and here they have unveiled the India's largest climate clock, majorly to raise awareness about the climate change and its adverse impacts, highlighting CSIR's commitment to address the global change. CSIR, it was founded in 1942 by the government of India, and its primary goal is to foster scientific research and industrial development within the nation. And since we are talking about the Earth Day, which was celebrated on April 22nd, the theme for World Earth Day 2024 is Planet versus Plastics. Obviously aims to bring attention to the serious issue of plastic pollution and how it is harming our nature. Moving on to our next question. Very recently, a report 4 days or 5 days back, a report has been launched, or it has been released by the global analytics firm Tefficient. Okay, now this company has, or as part of this report, they have highlighted that one of these following companies has become the world's largest mobile operator in data traffic consumption. That is the number of calls that are being made or received, and the amount of net that is being consumed. Okay, yes, which is that. Earlier, मैं एक hint दे देती हूँ. Earlier it was China Mobile that was the world's largest mobile operator in the data traffic consumption in the world. But now very recently, yes, very recently Reliance Jio has taken over that credit. Okay, and this report was issued by the global analytics firm Tefficient. Achievement: Reliance Jio has emerged as the world's largest mobile operator in terms of data traffic consumption, surpassing China Mobile. What is the timeline that they have looked into for arriving at this data? In the Jan-March quarter of 2024, Jio's total data traffic reached 40.9 exabytes, exceeding China's mobile 38 exabytes. So उससे ज़्यादा है. And 5G subscriber base, Jio also boasts the second largest 5G subscriber base globally with 108 million users. And 5G traffic consumption, a significant portion of Jio's wireless data traffic, more than 28% is attributed to 5G users. So more than 28% of its users, they are 5G users. And this is all about that report. Major facts and figures. Moving on to our next question. Every year on April 23rd, World Book and Copyright Day is observed to celebrate literature in all its forms and encourages readers to enjoy reading. Okay, this is the basic statement that this day has to give. Now you have to tell me what is the theme for the year 2024 for the World Book and Copyright Day. Now this day has been profounded by or proposed by UNESCO, okay, in 1995, and since then we have been celebrating April 23 as the World Book and Copyright Day to celebrate literature in all its forms and also encourage the readers to enjoy reading. And this here it is, read your way is the theme for that. And as I said, UNESCO has come up with this day. Now very recently, India's first multi-purpose green hydrogen pilot project was inaugurated at the Nathpa Jhakri Hydro Power Station, which is in Himachal Pradesh. Now you have to tell me what was the objective for launching of this India's first multi-purpose green hydrogen pilot project. When we talk about green hydrogen, the hydrogen that is developed, it uses green energy, okay, and by hydrolyzing the water, they extract hydrogen which is highly combustible, but with zero emissions, that is zero greenhouse gas emissions. That's the reason currently we are focusing more on the green hydrogen, thereby क्योंकि hydrogen में भी फिर grey hydrogen, blue hydrogen, though and this is the third one, that is the green hydrogen. Grey and blue hydrogen, they whatever the energy that is required for this electrolysis of water, that is hydrolysis जो होता है, that would be getting the energy from non-renewable resources, but here it is completely green in nature. That's the reason it's called green energy, okay. And the main objective of this particular project is to produce hydrogen gas for industrial use, okay. And as you can see, 1500 megawatt Nathpa Jhakri Hydro Power Station in Jhakri, Himachal Pradesh. And Geeta Kapoor, CMD of SJVN, inaugurated this project, which includes a 20 nanometer cube per hour electrolyzer and a 25 kilowatt fuel cell capacity base, sorry, Newton meter cube, sorry, that is nano is small n, capacity based green hydrogen pilot project. Electrolyzer, I have said, electrolysis of water happens wherein hydrogen and oxygen are separated. And the purpose is for providing for the industrial purposes, and it serves a high velocity oxygen fuel coating facility to fulfill its combustion fuel requirements as well. And the hydrogen production, this is the capacity. And renewable energy, as I said, green hydrogen is produced by using renewable energy sources. So in this case, they are using solar energy. So renewable energy from the 1.31 megawatt solar power plant at the SJVN in Vadhal, Himachal Pradesh will be utilized for this purpose. So whatever the power that is required for running this project, it is completely green, taken from the solar energy from the solar power plant, which again is present in Vadhal. And daily output is, it is said to produce 14 kg of green hydrogen daily during 8 hours of its operation, which will be stored in 6 storage tanks and used for commercial purposes. Okay, moving on to our next question. Very recently there was lot of news or lot of highlight about the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. So here earlier this was exclusively applicable for the socio-economic caste census में जो भी poor people है उनके लिए applicable था. After that they have said that okay, socio-economic caste census तो बहुत पुराना हो गया है, so based on the latest सर्वे, कई सारे सर्वेस करवाए थे, एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट वॉट एवर दे whoever they have been people are highlighted under the this below that is BPL people, for them this would be applicable. Now they have taken one more step ahead and proposed expansion in the housing subsidy for the urban poor to one of these following categories as well. Here subsidized loans are being provided to the people so that they can construct their own houses, and this also they will be paid under the MG and REG as well, so that while constructing whatever the daily wages that are there, that would be paid as well for their own home, but still because they have to meet their ends as well, right? So here Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, which is you can say successor of Indira Awas Yojana IAY, launched in 2014-15 and different phases में अभी चल रहा है. 2022 first target था which we were not able to complete, that is at least housing for all. This was the motto with which Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana was launched, urban and Gramin both. And after that 2023 तक उन्होंने extend किया है, and now it has been extended till 2024. But still it's a long way that we have to go to achieve this housing for all initiative. And here PMAY, currently the beneficiaries for which this has been extended to is inclusion of self-employed individuals, shopkeepers and small traders as well, which was not there in the earlier case. Okay, and subsidized loans are provided. Now here they are anticipating that it would be linked with the price and the size of the housing unit. For instance, for a whole house valued at 35 lakhs, a subsidized loan of 30 lakh is being considered. Okay, earlier uska kya hai, they have a particular square feet size 125 kuch hai, so accordingly they used to provide the amount for the subsidized loans so that the construction can happen. At the same time जो labor and सबकी support है, that also was provided under the MG and REG, especially rural areas में. And budgetary allocation, that is जो interim budget release हुआ था 2024-25, they have allocated 80,671 crores to this flagship housing scheme. And see 2014-15 में launch हुआ था ये with the objective of providing pakka houses. The goal is to add another 20 million houses over the next 5 years owing to the inclusion of self-employed individual shopkeepers and small traders as well. Okay, moving on to our next question. Very recently, one of the following cinema chains have announced the adoption of ad-free movies at their luxury properties across major cities, majorly focusing on Delhi, Gurugram, Bengaluru, Mumbai and Pune. Normally ad-free movies तो होते नहीं हैं यहाँ पे भी, but still now they are saying that we'll go for ad-free movies. So this will also help them. How they are going to earn their revenues? This will help them increase their number of shows. क्योंकि ads में ही every show में at least half an hour भी चला जाएगा, half an hour to 40 minutes. That can be compensated all that. अगर club भी किया जाएगा तो they can run one more show. So that is what they are saying, that they will be running extra shows to get their revenue, which they are losing out due to ad-free movies. So here PVR and Inox are those first एक ऐसा initiative है that they have come up with for the elimination of advertisement so that movie goers can enjoy uninterrupted screening time. The ad-free services will be initially rolled out in the select luxury screens. थोड़ा सा pricing भी ज़्यादा रहेगा इनका. Delhi, Gurugram, Bengaluru, Mumbai and Pune. And here they have already started this in few places like Bengaluru, Gurugram, Delhi already, and now they will be extending that to other places. And here additional screenings per day would be done so as to improve their earnings. Moving on to our next question. Very recently, Sustainable Finance for Tiger Landscapes conference was conducted. Okay, and this was conducted by which of these following countries? And this again took place on the eve of World Earth Day that we celebrated on 22nd April 2024, as part of which only this was done. Yes, And before giving you the answer, I would like to request you all to please like this session and share this session with your friends as well. And if you have any suggestions, please feel free to let me know so that I can incorporate, because this is now ever, we are not going to stop this series. So anytime soon. At least, so if you have any suggestions also, I can incorporate them into these sessions. Thank you very much. Yes, majorly this particular conference was organized to mobilize amount for the conserving tigers and their habitats in the next decade, because again tigers are one of those very important species in the food chain, which will have an major impact if they are completely they go extinct or the population goes down. So obviously food chain में कोई भी link disturb होता है तो that entire chain gets disturbed. Best example एक बताती हूँ, मैं हमेशा यही कोट करती रहती हूँ, because ये बहुत ही अच्छा आर्टिकल था which I liked a lot, क्योंकि हर चीज़ इन्होंने बहुत अच्छा से एक्सप्लेन किया था. यूएस में एक येलोस्टोन पार्क है. In that because of various reasons completely the carnivores बिल्कुल ख़त्म हो गए थे, because of which वहाँ जो herbivores थे that increased, their population increased tremendously, and that led to devastation of vegetation in that area. So what the scientists have done in that area is they have released these jackals into that area, jackals, foxes, those carnivores, because they are the ones they feed on the smaller herbivores. And once they have introduced, not jackals, it's wolves, sorry, it was wolves that they have introduced, and within some 2 to 3 years time, that entire place which was once completely barren because of these herbivores, and even the herbivores, they started getting drought like situation, and they were also not able to get any food. Once these wolves were introduced and some planting and little restoration measures were taken, immediately within 2 to 3 years, now that entire place which was once barren sort of, it has now become lush green, and animals from different places, they have already started coming and settling in that forest. इतना ब्यूटीफुल. एक सेकेंड एग्जाम्पल है, अभी रिसेंटली हमने एक दिया था इन अंडमान एंड निकोबार आइलैंड्स, वन ऑफ द आइलैंड्स वेयर इट वाज completely what you will say inundated with the spotted deer. Okay, because of lack of any control on their population, because of the absence of any carnivores in that area, once it was considered as a lush green area, that has come down to almost a barren sort of, and the government, the local forest department and the government, they are providing feed to them so as to sustain them. So if there is any disturbance in the chain, food chain, कहीं पे भी हमने बचपन से पढ़ा है कि पहले plants, after that it would be herbivores, herbivores के बाद carnivores, carnivores में भी again 3 to 4 levels होते हैं. So if any one of these gets disturbed, the entire food chain gets disturbed, and it will have a very negative impact on that area. Not only that, but on the environment as a whole. So this is one such 2 examples that I can highlight here. And the Sustainable Finance of a Tiger Landscapes Conference was conducted by Bhutan, okay, on the eve of Earth Day, that is on 22nd April, and this is majorly to mobilize $1 billion over the next decade dedicated to conserving tigers and their habitats across Asia. And since 2010 as well, the Global Environment Facility has been actively involved in tiger conservation efforts, and it has provided more than $197 million in financing and mobilized an additional $880 million in co-finance for tiger conservation projects that is done by Global Environment Facility, not only by itself, but it has requested others also to come and help them up, and that also additional $880 million they were able to pool as part of the co-finance for various tiger conservation projects in Asia. And if we talk about Bhutan, the capital of it is Thimphu, and the currency of Bhutan is Galtram. Okay, moving on to our next question. Very recently, RBI has released some data related to the credit card spends, etc. So for the year 2000, financial year 2023, what is the total credit card spends as per the data released by the RBI? Earlier, it was 14 trillion in 2022. 23, now 23-24, it has increased to 18.26 trillion credit card spends compared to 14. Year on year increase, notable 27% increase it has. And also credit card transactions in March 2024 has surged by nearly 10.07%. Point of sale transactions अगर देखा जाए तो that has rose from 60,000 to 260,000 from 54,431. And e-commerce payments, they haven't seen much, but yes, it has increased. Okay, and the top card players, this is most important here. HDFC Bank's credit card usage stood at 43,471.29 crores in March, which is a 8.57% increase from 40,000 to 88.51 crores in February. And the total number of credit cards issued by the banks in India reached 101 million in March 2024. This is important. And उसमें फिर अगर उसमें देखा जाए तो in that also HDFC Bank leads in the credit card issuance. And if you look at it, HDFC Bank का number 1 है. After that other players include SBI card है, and then it is ICICI Bank, and after that it is Axis. So HDFC सबसे number 1 है, even in usage, credit card usage, and also in the number of credit cards. Obviously जहाँ पे number of credit cards higher होंगे उनका spending भी higher होगा. And the last question for today. Who among the following are collaborating to combat the rising issue of OTP theft? पहले लगता था कि वन टाइम पासवर्ड जो फ़ोन पे आता था इट्स वन ऑफ द सेफेस्ट वे टू सिक्योर आवर ट्रांजैक्शंस, बट नाउ दैट ऑल्सो इज बीइंग कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड, and for which one of these following entities they have come together to combat the rising issue of OTP theft and cyber fraud, which is targeting the banking sector. Okay. अब बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री का सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम व्हेन दे आर वी आर स्टेपिंग अप आवर सिक्योरिटी अ लिटिल बिट हाई, साइबर सिक्योरिटी, नाउ दे आर टारगेटिंग ऑन द बैंकिंग सिस्टम को तो वो तोड़ नहीं सकते, सो दे आर फोकसिंग ऑन हाउ टू गेट दैट OTP रिट्रीवल. सो फॉर विच होम मिनिस्ट्री, स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया and telecom operators, they all have come together for combating this, and concerted efforts are being done to combat the menace of OTP theft and cyber fraud, for which these three have come together. And one of the major initiatives that are being taken is to alert the customers about any disparities detected between the location of their SIM card and geolocation where OTPs are delivered. के बीच में ही हैकिंग हो जाता है, सो दैट वे रादर दैन द OTP बीइंग डिलीवर्ड टू द ओरिजिनल ओनर, वो डुप्लीकेट सिम ऐसे कुछ यूज़ करके करते हैं, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड एज स्किमिंग ऑफ सिम, ऐसा कुछ बोलते हैं उसको, बट डुप्लीकेट सिम हो जाता है. सो OTP इज़ डिलीवर्ड टू दैट अदर फोन वेर एवर दैट फ्रॉडस्टर इज सिटिंग, सो दैट इफ़, क्योंकि लोकेशन तो अलग अलग होगा, विद दैट दे वॉन्ट टू आइडेंटिफाई द डिस्पैरिटीज एंड इमीडिएटली alert the customer to take care of that. And OTP blocking. In case of any fraudulent activities, measures are being implemented to promptly block OTPs to prevent their misuse and mitigate any potential risk that can arise out of this. So this is all from my end. So answer to homework question which I had asked you on 26th April. It was 2024 Ocean Decade Conference was organized in Barcelona, Spain by the Spanish government and also UNESCO's Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission. This was majorly done to assess progress towards the goals of the United Nations Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development 2021-2030. Now at this, India has come up with advocation of establishment of a region specific ocean observation center. This will help them to, whatever the goals that have been set under the United Nations Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, that can be, which is as part of the Sustainable Development Goals only. And this was conducted from April 10th to 12th at Barcelona, Spain, and the theme for this is delivering the science we need for the ocean we want. So this is a theme based on which the event was organized, and from India, Earth Sciences Secretary M. Ravichandran along with the team has participated in this conference and suggested for establishment of a region specific ocean observation center. So region specific थोड़ा सा focus ज़्यादा कर सकते हैं. Now today's homework question, very recently Thrissur Puram मतलब festival type का होता है. It's known as one of the largest temple festivals celebrated across the world. And this is a temple festival witnessed by people from all walks of life, irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion and age. Though it is a Hindu festival, but it has been observed that people from different kinds of religions also come there to offer their prayers. Okay, now where is it celebrated? So this I wanted to know. So this is all from my end. Thank you very much for being with me. And as you can see, आज से मैंने अपना वीडियो का सेट कर लिया है. It has come from repair. Okay. So yes, now the forum is open for your queries, questions, suggestions. If you have any, all are welcome. Since I'm not getting any suggestions as such, I'm winding up the session. Okay, and if you have any queries, you can reach out to me through any of these ways. ऐप से भी आप मुझसे चैट कर सकते हो. You can through Telegram channel and group also. YouTube पे तो आप directly ही live पे कर सकते हो. We have an FB page also. We have an Instagram page also. कहीं पे भी आप EduTerrain डालोगे तो आ जाएगा. Okay, thank you very much once again. See you all in the afternoon then, क्योंकि again we are resuming our YouTube sessions, and मैंने पूरा schedule already I have uploaded on the Telegram group as well as channel, so that you can prepare your schedule accordingly. Okay, paid sessions के classes भी first से शुरू हो जाएंगे परसों से. That is not शुरू हो जाएंगे, we'll be resuming. Already 5 to 6 chapters in ESI and ARD we have already done. ARD में 4 chapters किया था हमने, and ESA में 5 या 6 chapters कुछ हमने already कर दिए थे, and then we had taken a break so that अगर कुछ नए students वो भी join हो जाएंगे तो then we can resume our classes. So now all set, we'll be resuming those classes as well from 1st of May. Okay, and yes, hopefully थोड़ा सा 1 week इधर उधर हो सकता है ESA के syllabus completion में. Otherwise we are trying to wind that up as per the earlier study plan only. ARD का तो थोड़ा सा late होगा. This is because we are not anticipating इतनी जल्दी NABARD का हम immediately expect नहीं कर रहे हैं. So we are taking our time so that we can will complete that, in a very proper manner, covering each and every aspect of the topics that are associated with ARD under NABARD. Okay. So with this, let me wind up this session. Have a great day ahead. Please take good care of yourself. See you all at 4 p.m. then. Bye-bye.